Hello, guys. Welcome, everybody, to Purple Haze Podcast. I am your host, Isaac. Before we get to the video, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Give that and smash that like button if you haven't either. So apparently, day one of the Minnesota Vikings training camp is in the books. Apparently, so we're gonna go ahead and then do a small recap and just my thoughts on it. So basically, that's in the books. It was today. So the non-participants were Danielle Hunter and Brian O'Neill. I mean, that's fine by me, I think. And then but O'Neill still did some rehab work on a side of the field from later injuries on the season. It's still lingering injuries for Brian O'Neill, so I really don't blame them for just putting him out. And also for maybe for some technology, I don't know if this is relevant, but we're gonna do it. They installed a new speaker system around the perimeter of the practice fields to review plays in real time and help teach. So I would say that it's better than just using forklifts. Well, scaffolding basically to just use them to camera angle and then just review plays or get on tablets and just do that. So, and it's all around the poles, all around them. So, all around the practice field. So, if it's to help players, so be it. But I just thought that was an interesting nugget. Anyways, Madison is now in position to basically become the starting running back. It showed in practice. They gave him a rush attempt and a pass, and Madison caught a pass from Kirk Cousins. So so it's official that Madison is going to be the starting running back. I think so that I trust Madison. I think Madison can do a good job. He's did really well for filling in for Dalvin Cook instead of him. So the role really increases. I think long term, I think he's going to do a very good job this season. He's had phenomenal. He's great. So basically they say there's a slight difference between Madison and Cook, but they're almost the same, which thank God for that. So I think Madison will work out really well. As for the other trio running backs, Vikings will evaluate Kene Wangu, Ty Chandler, and Dwayne McBride. So the competition for the second running back position is still open. It still is open for one of these three running backs. So I would choose Ty Chandler. I would use him. I just like his explosiveness outside. When he gets outside, he just uses explosiveness and turns on the jets. So I like that about Ty Chandler. So I would put him in the backup position. I would say Kene Wangu, he's just as fast as he is. So, he's more of a kick returner than a running back. So I would kind of give him maybe a third, maybe. That's what I would do, and put Dwayne McBride for fourth depth behind the backup behind Wangu, anyways, as I should say. As for maybe some of the wide receiver news and maybe cornerback from what I saw and from the notes, Osborne was able to get. So basically, he had two noticeable catches to take note of. One, KJ Osborne, who caught both passes, was able to get behind defenders on the first throw, so he was able to beat the cornerbacks with his speed, and then he shook another one. He shook another defender, and he also shook coverage from a defender to flash open on this second throw, and both of them were by Kirk Cousins. So, and it looked like to me that Osborne was already ready to go. So Osborne was ready to so basically from the report, from O'Connell or from staff members, KJ Osborne was ready to replace Thielen. And hey, you know what? Osborne is nobody to sleep on. He was a very big spark from like the season. He was a very good spark. So I trust KJ Osborne as well. He may not had like the knock your socks off type of stat line. He had probably mid 600s and probably a few touchdowns, but he was still solid. He was still a threat when the Vikings needed him to. Most notably against the Colts in the first half and the second half, he had 157 yards and probably 2 touchdowns. Probably the best game. And also that nail in the coffin touchdown week 3 against the Detroit Lions. I would say KJ Osborne is a very good, well-respected. So, props to him. I like this dude. I like KJ Osborne. I'm rooting for him over. Lucky, and also one of the receivers from, probably not in a depth, but maybe could, Lucky Jackson reeled in a nice catch on a pass from Jaren Hall. Could this signify that Lucky Jackson might be a starting wide receiver, maybe in place? Who knows? I mean, if that is so, hey, we got ourselves another receiver, so I'm not too convinced yet until I see like some preseason games. Maybe he gets some snaps, but I will see what he has. As for Jaren Hall, same thing. I mean, I am absolutely rooting for this dude to be our franchise quarterback if he is. I just really want him to be, man. I mean, if he's better than Kirk Cousins, I said maybe he needs to be your default starter or backup to Cousins. So I'm not convinced that maybe the training camp brings out and say what highlights he had, but I want to see more in the preseason just to see him dice up defenses. Who knows what he will do though. As for Jordan Addison, a couple news. He apologized for the whole speeding incident. He basically said that this would not happen again, and he owned up to his mistake. So, and O'Connell and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah were aware of this situation. So, I mean, Jordan Addison owned up, and that we all know that was on him. It was a stupid mistake, but I'm willing to accept the apology, even though it doesn't sound like a great apology when action will take place. But I mean, I kind of accept them. Mistakes happen, even on the road. I have certainly. Won't speak for all of them, but I digress. But as for another mini camp highlight, Jordan Addison flashed on an impressive catch in his first action since rookie minicamp. So he's still been making very great catches and very great progression in minicamp, and that's what I like to see. In replace for like wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3, I hope that's exactly what we're seeing on camp and the same thing that we will see in this season. I hope that's the case. And then for like switching gears to maybe defense, cornerback. As for like the cornerbacks, according to Brian Flores on one of his press conferences, the quarterback competition was really competitive. So you're talking about a Caleb Evans, Andrew Booth Jr., Mekhi Blackman, Jay Ward, all of the above. I mean, hey, that's good if they're all competitive, if they're all ready. But you, of course, have to pick out the best of the bunch, of course. So, basically, and Byron Murphy, of course, which is probably going to be the starter, most likely. So, who knows who could fill in for him or who can fill in for, like, maybe Andrew Booth Jr. or Caleb Evans getting the outright start. So, it's going to be a very tough competition, and I like to see that from them. I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm not too bad about this. I mean, It sounds good, but I'm just not quite convinced yet that these players are like what they are supposed to be, like the rookie quarterback, Jaron Hall or Jordan Addison. I mean, maybe Jordan Addison, maybe Lucky Jackson, or anybody else, but I mean, it sounds really good, like they had a very good day overall, and I am all for seeing this. So that's my opinions, and those are the things that I saw on there. So I mean, so we'll see exactly what happens. Basically, I don't know. Day 2 seems like it's gonna be on Saturday, so Monday will be a Vikings training camp day 2 recap maybe. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure, again, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button. We'll probably see you Friday. Peace out.